Hey guys, let's talk about Juju when I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome. You've just discovered the Eric McNeil Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So today, I have a very serious subject matter to discuss, and it's one that's also painful to me as well, personally. So I want to talk about that and just get your opinion on it. So, as you guys know who have been following me for some time, me and my partner Brandon Rogers, we've been building the Migrating Culture Crossing Sustainable Community here in Ghana. And you may have recalled on some previous videos where I had attended Brandon's ceremony when he got married, right? This has been maybe some 7-8 months ago. Brandon and his wife Beatrice got married up in the Somaya area. That's also where we're building this community. She's actually from that community, right? She's from that community. So, but at any rate, his wife had gotten pregnant, and the baby was due on December, about Christmas, December 25th, I believe is the exact date when the baby was due to be delivered. However, unfortunately, Beatrice went into labor almost a week ago now at 7 months and delivered the baby a stillbirth. Now, I helped Brandon bury that child right here next. Brandon owns a piece of land next to this land, maybe some half acres, so he owns a plot of land. And he sent one of the workers to dig a place for the child. He said he was coming over to bury the child. I am Brandon Rogers, is what he named the child. So he came over and we buried the child and had a few words, and I can see, you know, the pain. The wife was still in the hospital when we did this. And if you've never been through anything like this, it's the most painful thing imaginable. And I know because I also buried a child, Jelani McNeil, which was my child from my first birth at 7 months. So I know how painful that is for anybody, right? Very painful, very painful. So, you know, we're planning on having the event November the 20th, and I just told Brandon, you know, take time with your wife, you know. Whether the house is finished or not, we've gotten a long way with the house we've come. So at this point, you know, take time with your wife and be there to comfort her, and you guys get through this, and we'll work everything else out. And so Brandon, being, you know, the trooper he is, boy, he just got right back to work. You know, didn't miss a beat and just kept going. So that's not what I want to talk to you about, though. But what I want to talk to you about is what happened after this. one of the employees, one of the workers on the job site came to Brandon and said, you know, listen, one of the other workers, Mr. Larby, who had been working with Brandon, I don't know, maybe some 10 years, long time. He said, Mr. Larby made some comments that was overheard by a group of us that we were very disturbed about. And he asked him, what were those comments? He said, well, he was angry at you. And he felt like you owed him some monies and you weren't releasing the monies, and he's supposed to have stuff, and instead of you buying him stuff, you know, you guys were getting like equipment for the company, and you was putting in things like bulldozers where he should be getting monies. And he also blamed your wife. He say your wife doesn't like him much and is blocking his blessings. And so he blames your wife for him not getting his monies, and you're supposed to be giving him money. Say, okay, and he said, went on to say in like this rage that if anything, you know, the wife will die, the child will die, and if Brandon were to terminate him, the project would collapse. The project being Migrating Culture Crossing, of course. The project would collapse. And apparently some 4 or 5 people overheard this. Now, Brandon says that Mr. Larby has a history of talking about how strong his juju is, and that he learned it from his father, and nobody's ever been able to catch him because he knows it. And so the guys made mention that Mr. Larby was talking about that day he used some juju. He would use juju on you. My Lord, my Lord. So Brandon asked me, you know, what was my opinion? What did she? Told me, call the police. Shit, call the police. Here, go the number. I know the police. You go call them. To me, that sounds like a case of attempted murder to me. I don't care whether it was a coincidence or not. See, because my thing, and I know, you know, some people might take offense at me for this, but here's my opinion. I go out there and I threaten somebody. Say, man, I'm gonna do something to that person. Week later, that person end up dead, maybe with a bullet shot to the head. It can be purely coincidence, but who was the primary suspect? Of course, it becomes me. I become the primary suspect. So for everybody who says that, okay, this juju is not real, and that was a coincidence, yeah, I don't care. I really don't care. To me, that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. He made the threat, and something happened. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. He made a threat, something happened. Now, you pay the piper. Pay the piper, buddy. So, Brandon went to the police, and the police agreed. Yeah. Sounds like something there. I'm going to tell you, I'm not anxious at any point in time to have anybody locked up. I've been in the crosshairs of the law. And I know how it feels when people come after you and you get hemmed up into the legal system. So I'm never anxious to have somebody locked up or to go after somebody. But I give you a piece of advice. If you are involved in something, then the law comes after you. The best thing you can do is be honest. Tell the truth, buddy. Because when you're not honest, the law officials get pretty angry with you because now you're costing them time and money, you know, they have to spend to try to get you. So anyway, the police officials in Somanya, who were very great, by the way, in assisting us, they said they were going to pick Mr. Larby up, question him. And so, when Mr. Larby made this threat, Brandon sent him a message saying, don't come to work, because there's been some accusations about you, and until we discuss those accusations, you need not show up to the job site. They say until we have a meeting. And Mr. Larby called me the next day, you know, saying, hey, Mr. Eric, Brandon said, you know, we're supposed to have a meeting. Should I come to the works? I said, no, not until Brandon tells you otherwise. You shouldn't. I said, you know, once we meet, I'm sure Brandon will reach out to you. I said, but at this point, you shouldn't. So when Brandon went to the police said, okay, have him come to work. We'll go pick him up. And so Brandon told him, you know, okay, you know, Mr. Larby, come to the job site. We got, you know, I need you to check out this roofing from you come to the job site. And Mr. Larby came to the job site, and when he came to the job site, Brandon said, okay, I got to go and pick up something. You know, I'll be right back. And when he returned, Mr. Larby saw the police in the vehicle with Brandon, and he ran. Yeah? Now, you innocent, but what you running for? What on earth possessed you to run if you completely innocent? It's the wrong answer there, buddy. It's the wrong answer. You innocent, but you decide to run. And then, so it took them maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of hours for them to track him down and find him. They had, you know, did some calling, and he was somewhere in, I guess you'd say a pub, a bar or something close by. And they end up finding him and bringing him to the police station. Now, once he gets to the police station, you know, of course, and then he's calling some other people that we know that whom he thought was going to talk Brandon or myself out of pressing charges against him. Another one of our workers, Reverend Kofi, you know, called me and said, hey, you know, I got a call from this Mr. Larby, and it says he's down. Say you guys have him down at the police station. I said, yeah, he's down here. He said, well, you know, he just called me, and I said, yeah, you know, I'll call you back afterwards. Say, yeah, he's definitely down here. About to be questioned by the police, so we'll see how it goes. So we all went down. We was at the police station. Had about five or six of the workers. And the chief of police brought Mr. Larby into the room and began to question him in front of us. And he asked him what happened. He's like, I got this statement saying that you made these comments about Brandon Rogers, his wife, his baby, the project. Tell me about that. instead of Mr. Larby just being honest and say, hey, I was angry, I made the comment, you know, something like that. I mean, because if he had did that, I'd have had a bit more sympathy for Mr. Larby. I truly would have. But when this man started to evade the question with some foolish story, he talking about all this other stuff that was just irrelevant, then I lost sympathy for Mr. Larby. I really did. Because now you're beginning to insult my intelligence, and you're trying to insult the intelligence of the chief of police and everybody around there. So the chief of police started to get a little annoyed. You can see that, you know, he wasn't happy that the man was skating around his questions. And so he got a bit more aggressive with them. And then Mr. Larby finally kind of came around. Oh, I didn't say it. They, you know, you can twist somebody's word, you know. And Mr. Larby then tried to get a little attitude with the chief of police. I'm like, buddy, I can tell you right now, you're not doing yourself any favors at this point, and you're not going to twist your way out of this with your juju. Don't seem like it to me, buddy. So at any rate, chief of police just told him, you going before the judge. You gonna have arraignment, like in a couple days, you going before the judge. He said, because, you know, you know, but first, before he told him that, after he gave Mr. Larby, you know, a chance to explain his side of the story, he brought all of the witnesses in, and he asked them for their statements. And all of them, maybe out of those 6 people, 4 of them said they heard him make the statement about him using juju on Brandon's wife, the baby, to kill the wife, kill the baby, and to collapse the project. Like 4 out of 6 told him. Now, after that, police chief was like, all y'all go and give us a statement. He told him, you know, I gave you a chance. Now, you're going before the judge. We're taking you before the judge. And, you know, afterwards, he had his people calling us, and, you know, trying to beg for forgiveness, and I told him that at the end of the day, Mr. Larby is a grown man. Mr. Larby has to probably he might be older than me. He's no child. Let's put it like that. He's no child. And he knew very well. And like I said, from what I understand, for years he's been talking about this juju and using it on people and how strong it is. So now we get a chance to see, you know, about this juju. But personally, I believe that anybody engaging in this whole juju thing should have the law thrown at them. Period. If you go around engaging in this juju, talking about you're going to do something to somebody, and something happens to that somebody, I believe the full extent of the law should be thrown at you. Yes, I do. All you medicine men and medicine women and high priestess and Merlin the magicians and, you know, voodoo, juju, and whatever else, you know, you call yourselves. You are on notice that nobody's going to come, and we're trying to bring people into Ghana to invest in these capital intensive projects. We have a community going up, and we're asking people to come in and invest your 40-something thousand to $152,000 in our community. And do you think people are going to be willing to bring their money into Ghana when There's fools running around here talking about they're gonna put some juju on somebody. No, 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 no. People don't want to hear that. People from the diaspora don't want to hear that. Like if Ghana, if you expect to move forward, Ghana, Africa, then you're gonna have to root that out. You're gonna have to root it out. That means you're gonna have to start dealing with people with the law. Something happens to somebody, that's murder to me. That attempted murder or whatever. Hey, coincidence. You might say it's a coincidence. It don't matter. It's irrelevant. You made the threat. Now, live with it. Deal with these people. Now, a lot of times when they talk about this juju stuff, a lot of it, I say, you say juju, I say poison. Oh, I put some juju, oh, so you poison the person, huh? You know, you go into the markets and they sell these little concoctions, little juju concoctions. And I believe even those people should be held responsible. They go around selling these various little poisons and stuff to help people in the juju, the mystics and the medicine men. I believe those people should be held equally responsible too. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. You bold enough to sell it. And the law comes after you, then I think you should pay the piper. Simple as that. Simple as that. You know, they have going at, like, one of the things that they sell is from the scorpion. I guess the poison from the scorpion. You know, you put the poison on somebody, you know, and things like that. And they'll put stuff in your water. They'll put stuff in your food. They'll put stuff on your clothing. You know, you put some poisonous concoction on your clothing. You put the clothing on, you just start breaking out in hives and stuff. Talking about some juju. That's your poisoning. Somebody, you poison them. And I think you should be held responsible for this stuff. I don't think the law should ignore this stuff any longer. As for me, I'm totally unsympathetic toward this whole juju thing. So yes. But yeah, I've gotten calls from, and it's not even the family, it's people, you know, they call everybody here father, a brother, a cousin, or something, but he's totally unrelated to the people calling me, asking for simple, totally unrelated, you know, but you know, I know these people too, and it's just an entangled mess, and you know, what happens is that these people start working around you, and they begin to feel entitled to something. And I think they've been around, Brandon, for so long, you know. I'm not one, I don't really fraternize with workers like you know, me. You'll be hard pressed to try and say, Eric sat down and was my friend. I don't really have no friends like that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And when it comes to workers, buddy, I expect you to come and do my job, and that's it. I pay you for doing that job, but I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to talk about you know, issues with you. I just want you to do my job. And you know, so I'm old school like that. That's how I roll. You know, and you know, Brandon is a little younger than me, so you know, he loves to befriend people and loves to try and help people, loves to, you know, so he's a little more cordial with people, and I have to tell him that, you know, you're learning that you can't always be like that with employees, because when you are, they take advantage of you, right? So they do a job for you, and that's it. That's the extent of the relationship. So, but you know, so this is a situation where an employee, I wouldn't even say employee, you know, like a contractor, has gotten close, and you know, when they get close to you, they start trying to manipulate you, and before you know it, you're doing things that you necessarily shouldn't be, and this is how this guy was, just you know, old manipulative person, and now you have me in the mix, and I'm not that person that's so easy that you think you're gonna come and manipulate something this way. you know, man, get out of here. Get out of here. But anyway, that's where it is now, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm sorry to the so-called family, friend, whoever. I'm sorry. There's nothing we can do. I told them they call the chief of police. If the chief of police want to drop it, that's up to them. But we believe that he should be held accountable. And if you want to move Gunner forward, then you should be seriously trying to put a stop to all this juju talk and stuff and make people accountable when they start to talk about using juju on somebody. They should be held accountable. So I think the law should hold them accountable. Now, you know, if you believe that they should let this guy go, then you call up there to the Somaya police chief and say, we think you should let him go. Huh? I'm sure they want to hear that. If you believe that this guy should be charged, then you call up to the Somaya, Somanya, S-O-M-A-N-Y-A, Somanya Police Headquarters. And you tell the police chief that, hey, this guy should be charged. I'm not even going to put the numbers. I'm not going to put the numbers. If you that interested, one way or the other, you find the Somanya phone numbers and, you know, to the police headquarters, and you tell them, you know, police chief, I believe police chief is Police Chief Annon, A-N-N-O-N. But you tell them either way how you feel about the situation. Because on tomorrow, I don't know if this video, I guess it'll be the day that he's supposed to go in front of the judge when I release this video. So, yeah, it's going down, and I don't have any sympathy for this guy after being there and listening to his story. And, you know, and then he comes back and say, you know, well, I just only said that because Brandon said something about, you know, my uncle, you know. And, I mean, it's not really his uncle, but, you know, they call everybody uncle and things like that. But he said something, you know, about my uncle, and I just said that. And I heard all the sides of the story. And I believe that this guy is just a manipulative liar, compulsive, manipulative liar. And now the law has caught up with him, and he's trying to wiggle his way out of it. But if he does, then it's still a warning to other people who think that they can just use these loose lips and say whatever they want to and make idle threats and think that it's not going to go unpunished, right? Because if we catch wind of it, we're going to use the law to the best of our ability to make sure that you are dealt with. You're being put on notice, right? That we're not going to let this stuff slide any longer when, oh, you just casually, I'm going to juju somebody. Okay, you going to juju? Let somebody else hear it. Let other people hear it. And, yeah, and let the law deal with it. That's how, you know, we believe that there should be a consequence for your actions. And you're talking about you going to collapse the project. Really? You're going to collapse our project? Okay. All right. Yeah, and you expect me to have sympathy. They calling me expect me to have sympathy? And you saying you're going to collapse the project? No, no, no. We're not going to go for that. We're not going to sit down on that one. We're not going to ignore that. That's for anybody. So it sends a message to anybody who comes this way talking about they're going to collapse something, somebody's going to die. No, we're going to send a message loud and clear. And this is the message, that we're not going to just ignore these idle threats. So at any rate, that's where we are today. Yet some more drama. you like what we're talking about, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, share, give me your comments, give me your feedback. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeil is free. And as always, hoorah, ahuru, now be free.